It's 464.
Drown in the water.
Come on, let's read my backup singer.
Did anyone see her?
Mama!
Dedeker's in the pool.
Twat is love.
All right.
So great.
I know. You guys want some cookies?
Oh, yeah.
We need everybody present for this photo.
Where's Taylor? Is he up there?
Here's the Ted.
Oops,
One
sorry.
of those movies that people don't even know he's in.
Like Colombian just came out for a minute. Oh.
Emilio! And I was like...
Grab my ass. You just grab my ass.
Where I'm standing, like, physical impossibility.
You just grab my ass.
Usually, like, generally, I think the best times where it's free, if people have given up on it, is like 2 to 4-ish, because people are usually out and swimming. So a lot of people try and get on it in the earlier part of the day, so it's a lot harder.
That's a physical impossibility from where I'm standing.
Yeah. There's FedEx. There's Taylor coming.
Slideshow? Anybody? Project a movie? What's it called? It's like a movie projector.
Dedeker!
I don't know. I'm tired.
Rob,
I'm not firing on all my
I
cylinders.
failed you. I've failed you for a good solid 2 weeks.
Try to keep it as cheap as possible.
What's that?
I hit him once with it. I tried to. Or no, I said already.
I don't.
Make him bring a movie. I can't do that. I know, but it's fun to think about.
Yeah, it's good. Sadly, no, we have to suffer.
Boil in here.
Especially when we make $450 in a week. The last 2 weekends we got kind of spoiled because we made over $3,000 a weekend, and it was easy for us to hit above what we were used to, which was $10. I don't want to play like father, but that means we were getting about $30 a weekend. That's 30 plus another 30 is 60, plus whatever we got today is a lot. That's more than 10, if you average that out, that's more than $10 a weekend. It's up to you how you spend your personal money. I think some people here have compassion and will help you out. We also might create a system within the group to offset. But I'm not going to be like constantly helping people out that spend recklessly. With that said, there is some pretty big inequity in the current plan, in the plan we have. If you calculate this 80-20 thing, so we have a total amount of money we made for on your private business. If you calculate 20% of it off of money post-tax, you're going to end up with typically at least 16 times the amount that somebody makes that week that didn't have a business running or that didn't make a lot of money on their business. However, if you calculate that 80-20 off of the personal income, the 25% which we allocate each time to personal income, you're only making usually around 4 times the amount somebody would make had they not had a business running or if they were not successful that week. I think this is like a really complicated process with a lot of calculation and a lot of like headbutting. Even this week, if we just split the money equally, like use like a socialist, I don't like to use that word, but like just split it evenly between all members, we wouldn't have reached $10. I'm hoping what we can do today, instead of making things really complicated and showing numbers and different methods and everything else, I'm hoping what you guys can agree to is, one, this is a little bit too inequitable for where we are right now. You know what I mean? Like, we're just starting out, and not only does it give that person 16 times the amount, but it also takes away from our savings and from our spending and investment allocations. So it's kind of like, it looks kind of crazy, and it's actually taking away from group money, the 25% that's allocated to that, and the 75% that's allocated to the group. So what I'm hoping is we could vote on this today. Dedeker and I and Rob will try to crunch numbers to make it so that we're closer to $10 for everybody that didn't make money this week. I don't know if it's going to be $10, but I'm thinking it could be like $8 or $9 with a little movie magic. Go ahead.
In the meeting, when there was a vote, it was agreed upon the floor was always $10. So why hasn't that stuck? That was voted on.
Yeah, it is voted on. The issue here is that, and maybe it's wrong, but we made $450, which we can allocate today. It's really hard to take that out. Now, what we could do.
Where's the 450 coming from? Is that website sales?
No website sales.
So
Just classes, things that happened. What we can do is rework the numbers to try to get to that $10 floor, and it means we'll take money out of. We can't really take money out of spending and investments because we have like $350.
We're also we are going to be taking a look at the online sales now that we do have that information. With the online sales, it'll probably bring us closer to $10 paycheck for people.
You know what savings is for, and then we're going to be making more money now. This next week.
That's a philosophical discussion, and it's one we can have right now. I think some people want to do savings for some reasons, and some people want to do savings for other reasons. And I think that's an important discussion to have. Everybody views savings differently.
You were the government that said you want to be consistent. I think this will be a good area to be consistent on, because I was told that we were going to at least get $10. So I held off on doing my paintings, and I figured, well, at least I'll get $10. I know I'll have enough food to get me through, and I'll finish up my paintings and do the personal stuff that everybody needs individually first. So I would like to.
What do you mean the personal stuff?
Well, I did a few things for a few people, wanted some personal things.
What do you mean, like you bought them stuff?
No, I did paintings for them instead of spending time doing paintings for the group to make money for the group, because I knew that at least we were going to get $10, and I was kind of riding on that. So.
All right, here's what I'm saying. Like, we're going to try to get to $10 to everybody, but it's a lot of accounting and like jimmy rigging. And one way to do that without throwing out the system completely is to. I'm not going to do that because for the we're like, this is a pain in the ass, and like last night I was like, why the hell am I doing this? But today I'm like ready to do it. And one of the first ways we can do it is to not give payouts on personal income of 16 times the base pay that everybody's supposed to get. Another way to do it is if you reach $10 plus more on your personal income, you no longer get that base pay as well. So let's say you made $20. There's no point for us to also give you the $480. Instead, that $480 can be pooled together and given back to the group that's under that $10 threshold. So what I'm trying to do, but I just can't give an exact answer, is where is it going to come from? But I want to create a system where it comes from somewhere consistently without robbing the group. But we want to try to get to that $10 floor. Now, there's going to be weeks we probably make $0. Who knows? So we do have to be flexible. But all I want to say is, like, this seems kind of inequitable given our constraints. This seems a little bit better. If the accounting or treasury or whatever you call it can work from here, I think we can get close to $10.
I just wanted to, I know we're looking for a tangible source to get everybody up to that $10. And I know that myself personally, I am 100% uninterested in taking 20% of jewelry. Could jewelry kind of act as that buffer?
Well, but I mean, do you want jewelry to act as that buffer every single time? That's kind of what we're talking about, is finding consistent place for this.
I'm never at any point going to take a percentage.
But what if jewelry doesn't have enough?
It's just
because it's a flexible thing.
It's just somewhere a little more tangible, maybe.
Somebody will have enough, but remember, like, by doing that, the jewelry group, their opportunity cost to work on other kind of businesses to make money is lost. You know what I mean? So like it might create a disincentive for certain people. I mean, that just figure it out. You know what I mean? Like I'm the same way. I don't really want anything. Like I have pretty much all I want. Like it would be nice to have a bed at some point, but I feel like that's a community issue anyway. Go ahead, Rob.
I was just made aware of a box that was returned. I just saw the email. What's it cost you to? You're selling it for $75, and it takes about 2 pallets.
Well, those ones are pretty bad. I don't know yet. I'm figuring it out.
Let's assume it takes 2.5 pallets, $5, right? So there's $70 we just lost because the person wanted to invest in us. And once they saw that there was an allocation going to one person, they completely turned them off. So now we just lost $70 worth of profit. That's gone. We're not going to get that.
80% of that goes to the group, so
Well,
she doesn't have the numbers correct.
Here's the thing. That 80% that goes to the group is a skewed number. So I don't even want to hear 80% of the group because that's not a true number. Okay? Because you can benefit, like you made $32.
That wasn't for the boxes.
That was an interesting date.
You made $32 on a date that wasn't a business that she set up from someone who walked through those gates for an experience. Is that right in my mind? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. We did have a conversation about Utopia experiences, and they weren't going to go that way. That said, we have to look at what people think of this, because we can make up all the rules all day long, but when the outside world says, what are they doing in there? They're just trying to make money in there. They're not actually trying to do anything different. They're just trying to basically take the outside world and bring it in here. That's not really what I would like to invest in. So as you said, brand, since you came in, our brand is us. And our brand is making a change. And if we're not going to make a change, and we're just going to try to make money, people aren't going to invest in that brand. That's just one thing I want to look at. I am not, personally, I don't care about doing anything. If it was about money, I never would have came here. Because I make a hell of a lot more money outside those gates than I do here. Okay? I'm not worried about what I'm going to do after this. Because after this, I'm going to be stuck in an office somewhere, probably typing up keys, or I'm going to be pulling wire or something like that. That's what I'm going to go back to doing. This interested me because I thought I would come in here and change people's thought process, the hippy-dippy types. And I find myself actually going leaning towards that. You know, so it's an interesting thing that's going on here. I guess, though, we really need to step back and look at ourselves. That's what I've been doing since I've been here. But as a whole, and this whole project, I got down on Hex the other day because she said to me, I'm working on my business. And I was so upset about that because I was like, well, what about what we're doing here? And then she sat me down and says, I'm not taking a dime. I bartered for blankets, for sweatshirts, for sleeping bags so we wouldn't freeze the night. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even realize. And she doesn't want a dime. And I think that's the mentality, that's the thought process that I want to get behind in this. If you want to profit, that's fine. But just know that there's a lot less people profiting. And at the end of the day, there's decisions that will be made for the good of the group. And that's just something, and I'm not saying, change your mind, but be true to yourself, do what you want to do, but take into consideration everybody else. Yeah.
So is that an option individually, or is it going to be a group vote in terms of going back? So we came in here and it was voted unanimously that it's we live in a community and what we make is all of ours because we can't put a price tag on digging a ditch. We can't put a price tag on planting seeds or milking Betsy and Honey. And so because we all do different work, we've had, and then even coming in the business of yoga being launched first, where I had no intention to ever take a profit from that. And we unanimously voted to keep it a community. And then we tried something out new, and obviously it's creating all this chaos and discord. So moving forward, are we going to re-vote, or shall it be a personal decision for each person to decide?
I would put it towards a re-vote at this point, but you have the choice. If you get, like, if it's a vote of a profit sharing, and you get a certain amount of your own money, and Hex doesn't like it, she's not taking it. She's refused to take it. And I've told her to take I said, Hex, yesterday I said, take your money and give it to charity. Take your money. Make the pot smaller. Take it. You earned it, and do what you want to do with it.
Or giving it back to the group in some way.
And
like
that's another thing that she's already spoke about.
Right.
So at this point, like Mike has brought these two up. I just want to add a third.
Right.
And that's zero. Everything goes back. And I won't think less of anybody who doesn't want to do that. It's your choice. I'm just saying, for my choice, I just want to put it out there, and that's all. But I won't think anything about anyone.
I just want to say,
oh yeah, go ahead.
Today, like at the 450, I know it's changing now because we might have some internet money coming. At 0%, as how it's set up, that's $6 a person.
It's not about the money.
I know,
it's
but
about
you guys
the
see on the back end.
Oh yeah,
like we're struggling with calculations.
Oh, I understand. I understand that. I'm just
philosophies
saying
are great, but
the principle of things. And I normally do things over principle, even when they're wrong, and I know they're wrong. That's just like what I think I do, and I'll always do, and I'm not going to change that. So that said, have your vote. Do what you want. I just wanted to speak.
Yeah, I just want people to understand that there's a great philosophy and it's moving, but there's also like calculations and crunching to be done and assist. Like I'm always Mr. System. Like right now, the 80-20, it's like 480. The 0 to 0 is like 6 something. So we're still not there.
Well, can we at least, let the accounting team have a break to add in internet sales and run numbers under a couple different scenarios, and then can get back to everybody.
I would put this forward. Internet sales aren't sales, because when I worked in sales, it wasn't a sale till there was a dotted line and the checks were put out there. So until things are in the mail, it's not a sale.
It's in our bank account.
What's that?
It's in our bank account.
I understand that,
but we might have to return it. Like somebody just kicked back a box.
And now what are we going to do? We're going to go back and return
it. So Kristen, so that sales report doesn't include the return stuff?
The sales report, no, we don't have access to returns in our report. That's something we have to manually figure out on our own, unfortunately.
Then we can't use that number.
We have to do shipping, things that are shipped. I think that's an actual sale. That's when someone gets their goods, or a pickup, or a sale, a shipment. Okay. That's the actual sale.
So then all we're working with is the 450 again.
Yeah.
I think I propose too that website sales be made a separate entity, so it's like we either pay out bi-weekly because so people have time to cancel their order or return something.
I think that's great.
Or once a month, maybe website sales are money dispersed for that.
Cal.
I want to go back to what you said about people choosing if they want to give the money to the group, or if you have to accept the money, buy some, olive oil for everybody or something. I love that, but in my utopia, no one's forced to do anything. If people want to take their 20%, that's just fine with me. I personally am with you. I want anything I make to go to the group. That's absolutely fine with me. And if I want to start a new business, I'll go to the group and say, I would like $80 to start a new business. Mm-hmm. But
I'm basically saying the same thing. No, there's no force. You do what you want to do, but this is how it looks, and this is what it's going to be when people, there may be, for one email, there may be 150 people who feel the same way,
I just want to say this, because I am going to vote for the 80-20%. I think right now it is a great idea.
This one?
No.
This one?
Yes. That one, I think, for right now is much more reasonable because we're still hungry. Some of us still need a little more food. Organic, I know. And and I'm still eating peanut butter and dandelions in between eating the food, and I know we could be a little healthier. I just want to make sure everybody's aware of the only reason I'm doing that is because I need to make sure that I get the paints, the art brushes, and the canvases that I need to make my paintings. I think I've proved myself in a group that I am an artist. And I think I'm not alone in saying it was hell just trying to get a paintbrush before. And I'm not the type of person to come into a big group where I feel like I'm going to be attacked and beg for paints. I mean, so I want to make it clear that I'm going to vote for that one because it gives me more freedom to buy what I need without having to go and beg a group and have my head chopped off. And Bella, why do you need this? And why do you need that? As an artist, I'm a very creative, more soft person, and I hate that. I need the freedom to be able to buy what I need. I don't care what I have. Anything on top of that, I will put back into the group. But I need to be able to get my art supplies. I need to be able to get food so I can be healthy and stay strong so I can paint. Anything on top of that, I could care less. Because like you said, I make a lot more outside of here than when I came in here. But I am going to vote for that one because I need a little more freedom to order what I need to order.
You done, Bella?
Oh yeah, I'm done, Josh. Thank you.
You know what? I don't need a TV. I don't need like luxury stuff. I just want food. You know, I'm used to burning 3,500 to 4,500 calories a day. I'm probably getting half of that in here. I came in here 240. I'm probably about 225 right now. I'm not eating enough. You know, and all I want is a little extra money to be able to purchase food. I don't, like I said, I don't need luxury items. I'm not going to go buy new sneakers, stuff like that. I'm also going to be putting in a lot of work, you know, and it's a little bit of incentive. I'm okay with 10%, you know, as long as it's just something, a little carrot at the end of the stick, just to work a little bit harder, you know. I work all day framing, doing that stuff. Then I'm going to go cut wood, get those boxes done. It just, for me, it's just a little bit of incentive to work a little bit more. There's other people that won't be doing anything, you know. There's people that are going to be sitting here, you know, on the phone, doing art, doing other things, leisure stuff, and that's fine. But I don't think it's fair that I'm, you know, going to put in 6-7 hour day and other people are going to just be doing other stuff. And that's okay too. That's their utopia as well. I like the incentive, even if it's just a little bit, you know. I don't need these big numbers, but a little incentive is nice to reward hard work.
Guys, and let me remind you that this isn't 80-20 off 100% of what's taken in. It's 80-20 off of like
25%.
25% of 80%. Like, it's not that much. It's going to be a couple extra bucks.
It's enough to get a jar of peanut butter to keep
Yeah.
through the week.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, to the outside world, we're still communally congregated and living. It's just a couple of extra bucks. And you know what? If you strike pay dirt, like, you do really well, like, we'll just tickle you until we get your money out of you. You know what I mean? Like, I think this is closer to being reasonable. You're getting 20% of 25% of 80% of what we take in.
Is there a way to do like 0% so that the outside world knows that it's all going into the same pot, because people seem to favor that perception, and then divide it up after that as an allowance of some sort, so it's not taken from your business, but also everybody has the money if they want art supplies or they need more food, and that way there wouldn't be the misconception like of, oh, I don't want to give him more money than I'm giving the group. That way people will know that, okay, it's going to the group.
Nobody's giving one person more money than they're giving the group. Like, still.
Actually, looking at customer emails, like they wanted to know like they want like people to like even write who makes what jewelry. Like I've gotten certain requests.
But my point is though that 20% is never going to be larger than 80% going towards the group. Like, even though when it gets dispersed individually, it's smaller amounts. Like, look at the ratio. Like, whatever comes in, none of it is going a bigger chunk to one person more than the group. The group gets most of it. The group always wins.
They're getting like 75% of what we get. It's just going into savings.
It's just that one
going
person
into
gets
bills,
a
and it's
couple
going
extra
into
bucks.
investments when we have enough. Like, it's all here. It's just that we keep getting sacked with bills or like investments or what, you know.
Well, personal incentive doesn't always be monetary. It can also be a chore break. Like, for example, everything can go back into the kitty 100%. If you have a business and you bring in a certain number, a certain goal that you reach, say $100, $500, or $1,000,
every time you hit one of those numbers, you get a chore break. So you shouldn't have to get up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, water the garden, milk the cow, do all this stuff, and then go back to your business and bring in thousands of dollars and then go back to do more milkings like that. You know what I mean? So if you're bringing in $100, say you don't have to water the garden that week. And then you bring in like $500, then maybe someone else can milk the cow. Like, you know, it could be
blue collar and white collar.
It could be like chore incentives.
Yeah.
It could be like chore incentives. It doesn't have to be
But-
monetary.
Blue collar, white collar.
Yeah,
That's
the problem
exactly
is it
what
breaks
is.
down. It's not an incentive anymore. It's just some
It's
people
then
won't be doing
it's a
chores.
privilege that you get to pay the laborers
Yeah.
to do your chores for you. It's the same exact thing.
Can I
Yeah.
please say that, everybody?
Sounds like a good idea for you, but
What's that?
Before we get into that, because I think it's going to be a big thing. Do you something?
I just had a comment on Breeze. It was if it's a chore break incentive or some other non-monetary incentive, how does that help Josh with needing food or Bella with needing art supplies? See what I mean?
Like, because that means like we don't have to divide everything up with. I mean, I'm saying that's an alternative. Instead of having Bella take 20% or whatever to buy her own personal stuff, the kitty would be bigger, so the dispensing would be bigger, so you get a bigger chunk, and everyone gets it evenly. Can I get what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying. It's something to kick around.
If they start providing lunch, maybe? Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about if 100% goes back to the kitty, and then everyone's cut will be bigger, so that makes everyone gets a bigger
And
chunk.
then going back to the same thing that we did before, where it's
Yeah.
just split it up evenly.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
what
think
she's
this is.
saying.
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Because this is, you guys, I wrote up a resolution that I'd like to propose, if you guys don't mind. The resolution for the new economic system is, which we already practice, is the sliding scale for equal pay. And I know that one of our concerns is kind of a freeloader. We're worried about us all being equal, but somebody maybe not pulling their weight, whether it be a business or a labor. The principle behind it is the paychecks ought to be based on a sliding scale in which each member receives an equal distribution, or 1/15 of income received for the week, minus taxes, savings, and spending. So it literally is set up just like how we had it previously. The day when we had the experience, I know we were all got what? How much?
$40.
Like 40 bucks.
30, 40 bucks.
It was a pretty comfortable amount of money. It was enough. It was enough for you to get whatever you needed. It was enough for you to get whatever you needed. So in essence, you taking the 20% or the 10% and getting a few extra dollars, wouldn't it be more economical for us to all go in together and you get like a pretty decent percentage instead of like us being kind of like nitpicky in the 1% and the 2%? No, just a couple extra bucks would be great. You're going from $4 in essence, or what was the highest earner this week?
36. I think.
36. I mean, we blew that out of the water as a group in whole, just coming together. Now, provided that was because we had the experience. But the group is going to bring in more money collectively than we will individually. You're not only raising your own, because you're not saying, oh, I just want 1%, a couple extra dollars. But also I know as far as incentive is concerned, a group incentive is still just as appealing as an individual incentive. I know that if it's all going back into the kitty, as much as I still put into the kitty, I am still increasing my paycheck. The harder I work, yes, it's going to get distributed evenly, but it's still going up. Not just for myself, which is cool, but for everybody, which I equally appreciate. Now I know that we were concerned about somebody just kind of being like, I'm going to live off the system. I don't really have a business, and I'm going to get a percentage anyway, so what do I care if I really do anything? So kind of piggybacking off Mike's structure, in order to avoid free riding, a complaint ought to be filed with the judge or the TNCC. Should a member not carry out his or her duties and contribute in business ventures, if found guilty of free riding at the end of the trial, and keep in mind the judgment is going to come to a jury, if you will, of the what is it? What are we called?
Pioneer Council.
The Pioneer Council. If this member is found guilty, we will definitely put that on their record.
Permanent record.
Permanent record. Your record will be besmirched.
I'm listening to everything. I'm doing the rest of the order.
What's that?
What's the difference in 7 feet?
Say it again.
No, good, keep going.
Nothing, I'm listening.
And I know I do want to keep in the spirit of, hard work is recognized, which we appreciate. Hard work is not only recognized, obviously, by an increase in your paycheck and a paycheck for the group. But kind of, I already had it written down, and Bree kind of touched on it. Suggesting a non-monetary system for leaders and hard workers. And what I kind of had, guys, please, also, this is literally just something I popped up. I haven't worked out the finite details or everything else, so I'm open to suggestion. This is just an idea. People can nominate a hard worker either financially, business owners, or labor, somebody that works really hard in the barn and the garden or whatever. If you just see somebody working really hard, going above and beyond for the group, you can nominate them. The Pioneer Council will vote for a different person each week, and that person is celebrated. Now, I haven't picked out a reward per se. I think maybe not having to do your chores is kind of a sketch one, but maybe a celebration. We can all get together. That person can pick what we have to dinner. We can, celebrate them. Reward them with a thank you. It's all we can do here, but it should be enough. I know that I've worked for bosses that some bosses pay me better than others, but I'm miserable. I feel underappreciated. I'm walked all over. It's really not a good feeling. And then I've worked for other bosses that haven't paid me enough or as much, but just the sheer fact that I'm appreciative and they're thankful and they recognize that I'm working really hard gives me enough incentive to want to work harder for them. That might not be everybody's kind of MO, but it is my own. So I kind of feel like just an appreciation, ceremony. We really appreciate the hard work you've done. It doesn't cost us anything, but at the same time, it doesn't go unnoticed by the group. If we want to think of maybe little trinkets or things we could kind of bestow upon our hard worker of the week, that would be great. Like, I'd like to make the hard worker a bracelet, or Dedeker a bar of soap, or just something to let them know we really, really appreciate the above and beyond.
I like that. I like that a lot.
So that's all I got so far. If you guys want to kind of like mull it over and think about it, but again, just to reiterate, the sliding scale, equal pay. If someone we feel is kind of free riding or kind of working the system, if you will, we have the trial, and then just to keep the hard workers and the really hard go-getters incentivized or appreciated.
So I like it, but I do have the concern that I had earlier when these kind of things were first discussed about that kind of requires like everybody must at all times be doing something that brings in money for the group, and there's certain people here who either cannot, either don't have an easy way of making a business or don't want to. And so, is then that person listed as free riding because they're not doing some kind of business venture that brings in money? Or?
No, and that's the thing I like about this is we're not really divvying up anything. Every job here is equally important. We're not going to get milk unless somebody's milking those cows. We're not going to have vegetables unless someone's tilling the ground. Whether it's a labor or a business, you are still just as valuable. We wouldn't have a place to live. We wouldn't have the nice things we have if it weren't for Josh or Bella or anybody else. This is our mainstay, you guys. We can't leave. So the things inside of here and the things we consider labor and that don't necessarily bring in money are still just as valuable, and to me, should be paid the same. There are many other companies and a lot of other business ventures that people that are laborers can even help with. At the end of the day, help me make a piece of jewelry, help Dedeker do some soap, help Nikki with her yoga or meditation. You can lend a hand everywhere. Laborers aren't invaluable because they're not specialized. Just so we all are clear on that. I think that's very important to touch on. Everybody here is just as valuable as the next, whether or not you are a CEO. So I really think that to kind of get rid of any animosity, this would be the best way to go about it. Go ahead.
Oh, she was first. I want to add to that in a sense that if we are all involved in each other's business, it's more of a collaborative effort. And so this idea of my business, or I'm only responding to this email because it's related to my business, that all goes away, and there'll be better customer service because we'll all be taking care of each other's stuff instead of thinking like, oh, this is only for that person. And so it's true, so instead of any type of competition or I have to create a different crafts business, we can actually all just pitch in and do it together. And so I think that we'll even have better businesses because it's not anyone's business, it's all of our businesses.
Amanda?
Never mind. I just lost it.
I was thinking one thing though when Amanda raised her hand. Amanda's been doing laundry for $2 or $2.50 sense of launder, and like this 0-0 thing throws that kind of work out. What would be the, it's just, unless you want to do laundry, the money goes back to the business or something.
With that,
that's all an internal thing.
right, it doesn't affect the outside.
So that's internal
And
business.
it's all just the same money moving around.
Right,
in the community.
and it's a choice. Like, you can wash,
Right.
but
Okay, so that's
you didn't
internal
want to
business.
wash. Right.
I do think that is different because we all capable of washing our own laundry. If I'm got a couple extra bucks, I'm like, I don't want to do my own laundry, I can give it to her. If I want someone to make me lunch, and I'm like, oh my God, I just really don't want to get out of bed and make my own lunch, could I give you $1 to make me lunch? I mean, that's like just a transfer of internal money. I don't think that that's a problem, but again, that's not any one person getting paid out of the kitty more than anyone else. So that's kind of something that we do need to discuss. That's a valid point, but at the end of the day, the payout from the funnel is still equal.
I'm sorry, that's what it was. Go ahead.
I think, though, with the 80-20, people are concerned about there being economic tiers and some people feeling more powerful or some people feeling less than. With internal business, that still could happen.
Yeah.
Those tiers still could be created. So if that's a concern, then I think it needs to be addressed on both levels, internally and externally. Because if I'm charging to build someone a website internally, that's still me profiting internally, and that still could create an economic tier. If she's charging for laundry, if Erin's charging to do haircuts, there's economic tiers that can be created either way. So I think if we're going to see it, we need to see it on both sides.
That's true. I don't disagree with that.
Go ahead.
Last thing, there was an argument back in like week 2, I think it might have been, where there was a person who said they were going to come in here and they weren't going to do a damn thing. And there's nothing anybody could do about it. And they were going to take their 1/15th regardless, because that's what they signed up for. So how do we,
Well, that's
deal with
kind of
that?
what obviously we would go through Mike's thing, we would file the complaint, it would go to trial if that person was found guilty by the Pioneer
But it doesn't matter.
Because they don't care. They're just going to be like, fuck the trial.
That matters at the end of the month. That person's not here. Keep that in mind. I'm getting. Is that person still here?
No, that person is not here.
I didn't think so.
But that person had a valid argument.
Yeah, and that
Because-
could happen, and we have to be.
Because like Cal said, we can't dictate. I think you can't tell somebody what to do necessarily in terms of this. This is like not that much money. This is like not that much money either. What we're fighting for is like right now, today, because of what we earned, we're fighting between the difference between $5 and $6 is what we take away.
I understand that. This is nothing, I'm just saying somebody can come in here and say, I don't care about this. This is not what I signed up for.
Right.
So just know that can, and they have every right to be like, I want my 1/15th. Like people that were here screaming, I want my 1/15th. You know what I'm saying? Like,
which would be $30 this week.
And they'd be here 2 months.
Yeah. He's gone.
Yeah.
But I'm saying they could take $30 this week.
It's something that could happen.
I'm happy to give them
If it
their
does, we'll kick
15
them
to keep the harmony in the group. $30.
Well, that's what we ended up doing.
I'm happy to. I don't
We
care.
gave the guy his money. It was
No
crazy.
problem.
I mean,
I
but-
think that's outside of.
Yeah,
I
trust me.
think like
We did that
for
twice.
time and fairness, unless you guys want to elect like you're dead set on this, because remember this is 20% of 25% of 80%. Like it's not that much more. Like if you guys strongly disagree with this, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Look where he's pointing. On the board.
If the percent, like 80-20 from
7. All right, that's a majority. Anybody agree with this thing? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
But we're 16 right now. It's not a majority.
Oh, right.
Yeah. We might have to take 2 people that you guys might not be able to vote.
That's
It
cool.
would still be
Understandable.
14.
Yeah.
Your questioning of that raising the hand thing was a little off too. You said anybody strongly disagree with that, and then who agrees
Well,
with
I'm
this?
not making a final vote. I'm just trying to gauge the
No,
temperature on what's going on.
If it could be
And like
worded
besides,
differently.
guys, you're still like we still have to figure out how to
Because
get
some
you
people
$10.
were confused as to
Like-
what you were talking about. Bree didn't
I don't get
understand
it.
what you were talking about, so maybe
I
she
never
could-
get it, so.
Can we keep in mind that if the classes weren't done, if the date wasn't done, if people didn't do personal business, there wouldn't be any money to split up?
Right.
But let's keep in mind that they came through this to experience all of this. It wasn't the Josh show. It wasn't the Nikki show. It's not the Aaron show.
But because of
It's
Josh, they
Utopia,
came in.
and people come in here. And if you want to put it one further, she should take a piece of your money because she set it up,
It's like the mafia now.
right?
Like if you want to
she
be in
set it
this
up.
area, give it to me.
Are we deciding anything now, or are we just mulling this over?
Mulling
and
it
then we'll think
over,
about it
yeah.
and come back for a decision?
Yeah, we're
'Cause
not
I'm
ready
hungry.
to make an educated decision
Yeah.
at this point.
Okay.
Like these are big philosophical issues, and like I think
It's a good time to think.
I think these are the things in my mind that are misdirection of energy, but it's important to the group. We still have to figure out how to get you guys close to $10, and like it's a lot of work, and I don't know. Why don't you guys decide how you want it?
So basically, if you guys want to bring us snacks.
Yeah.
Go
ahead, Chris.
What is the problem of just taking 10 hours?
No, well, we still like just give us the time to at least look at the online sales and figure out what we get, you know, and then we can figure it out from there.
Yeah, we can deplete.
We made.
I think like when we originally had the vote, like savings was savings, and I guess that's a philosophical question too.
I just don't understand why we're only taking it from our profits. I thought we're still going to pay it out of what we made last week.
So you want to take it out of savings too?
I don't think it would be a
It's like
problem.
12 people, 5 times 12 is $60.
Well, it's 16 people.
It's awesome.
Right?
Happy to.
It's $60 basically.
We made a lot of money last weekend, and we made a lot of money the weekend before that.
You give the people that weren't on the board an extra $5 or whatever, make it $10. It's $60 is what we're talking about.
That's in savings. All right. So if you guys, if we don't hit the $10 each time, do you guys want to take it out of savings?
Yes.
I think we made a floor for a reason.
Yeah, that's fine. All right. So we'll take it out of the savings. So every time you get $10 at a floor. And then what about the rest of the money over $10? Is that divided by the group totally, or do you have an incentive, monetary incentive structure?
That's what we all have to decide upon. Yeah, that's what we need to mull over.
Well, but this is the thing: is the question is like
It fucks with that because like
Yeah.
if there's a monetary incentive and so gets $32 and so gets $25 and so it changes how much we take out of savings.
because is it just because that's the thing is we're trying to bring people up to getting $10. If you've already made 30, you know we're not going to take out an extra whatever to bring somebody up to $10.
Every week it changes our money here. Every single week. We have a lot to learn. But if we made a floor, we need to stick at that floor. I know I'm okay personally. I have a ton of
But
money
do you want
left
the
over.
floor? Do you want the floor to come out of the group savings, or do you want it to come out of the guy who made $32 this
I
week?
would not want it to come out of the guy who made $32.
It needs to come out of group savings.
It's
We just-
but you see how the two rely on each other, right?
Could we, to remedy this week, take it out of the savings next week, implement something else if we decided to do so, just to not...
Yeah, but you guys owe us candy every day. Because I'm not going to do this stuff like much longer if you guys don't pay us like at candy or hugs or something. Like we were up
Please
all
stop,
night.
For God's sake.
Yeah.
Seriously, no, seriously. I sat in bed with the numbers until 11 o'clock last night, like just trying to figure this out. So.
Well, that's your job. That's what you do here.
I mean, I think that that's you're paying for your desire
I
to be
appreciate.
here.
I mean, I think everybody appreciates because it's hard. It's looking at numbers and writing things down all day. It sucks.
It's a job. It's
But
one of the main
do you
parts.
want to trade and wake up at 4 o'clock?
I do
4:30?
that too.
And you do that. No, I understand. I understand. I'm not downgrading anyone, but like I'm
No,
saying,
this isn't- I'm
you
not, like,
you can
trying
do
to-
something different if you'd like.
No, I know that. I'm not trying to quantify the experience. I was trying to be more lighthearted about it because I would like a hug.
I'm hungry.
I'll give you a hug.
No, but
No,
if it is too much, like don't do it if it's too much for you. There's other things to do.
No.
You know what
Like
I'm
I'm not talking about that. We're just saying that.
Yeah, like if
Particularly in this
every
moment-
week this discussion like changes, we have to change all the accounting every week. I want cookies and candy. That's all I'm saying.
Well, do we ask the group, do we feel educated enough to be able to make this decision now in the effort to not keep doing this over and over and over and
Who
over
would
again?
like more time to think about it, eat, and then come back later? Do you want to do a show of
We
hands
just
on
took a
that?
30-minute lunch break though.
And who would like to make the vote now? But I'm here.
I'd like to vote
separate
now. I
things.
feel like
Let's vote now.
What are we
so
voting
we
on?
don't
What's
rehash
taken
it.
out of
Let's vote now, get it over with.
Are we going to vote on the 80-20 or are we going to vote versus the sliding scale? Is that the vote we're taking now?
Where the floor comes from, I thought that
I think we're taking the vote of, are we taking the money out of the savings?
Yeah, I thought because that's at least something consistent we can agree on right now. I think all this needs more development.
Okay,
That
that
needs
sounds
more
good.
time. And next week we'll have a better gauge because we'll have the weekend
And I'll
where
have
we
more
do
art,
awesome.
so,
And we got a lot of stuff going on the website this week. We got a lot of your jewelry. We got a lot of Bella's art. I got some of my art. We got things going up. So next week is going to be awesome. We're going to make a lot of money, but save y'all a headache.
Yeah.
And we will give you cookies and hugs.
Yes.
And whatever else you need.
I'm not giving cookies. I'll get hugs.
I'll rub your feet.
You know, Rob, you're on the benefiting end because you're on the accounting team.
Oh, that's right. I mean, I want cookies.
So I'm like, why are you arguing with me about that?
Because I wasn't out late.
Yeah. Now, the last thing I'll say is next week when we make a killing, can some of that extra money go back? Like the money we spend today from savings, can that go back into savings?
Absolutely, yes. You can take every penny of mine and put it back into that as long as I get enough food
Let's
to eat.
not make it so personal.
Yeah. But you know,
I'm saying,
just saying,
so like
yeah, I'm
tonight,
happy.
today,
Oh
we'll
my
calculate what we're taking out of the savings account.
That's a good
Next
idea.
week, will that automatically take out of profits?
It's going to be like that every other week.
Yeah.
If we're doing this, we're doing Utopia Experience every 2 weeks, so there's always going to be a down week
And an up week.
and an up week.
Right, and that we're
That
just
equates
like
for the whole thing across the board.
It's a loan out of
So we'll basically have 2 weeks every month that we might or might not reach our $10 floor, and then after that, we'll have 2 weeks where we're up.
Well, that's a great idea, Chris.
What are we voting on right now? This is just ridiculous because
Take the
it's
money out of
80-20
savings
versus
today.
zero.
Well, because, I mean, that's a good point, though, is the fact that if we recognize that maybe we're going to have a down week every other week, is it still our responsibility to provide people $10 when, you know, when you think about it, we made a total of $65 for the past 3 weeks. That's $20 a week.
So we'll take it out of savings and then
You
the next
know,
week that
so
we
like
do
technically
well,
people
we'll
could have
pay
had
that
enough
back.
to have $20 a week. That's not the case. Some people spent stuff, some people didn't, you know. So that's the philosophical discussion is, do people just know from now on we're only going to get a big payout every other week, and so you keep that in mind when you get your paycheck?
So
or
like this
is
week
it,
we got $5, but last 2 weeks we got $30.
Or is
That's
it that every other
$65
week we're
divided
gonna
by
have
3
to
is $21
dip
a
into
week.
savings?
That's more than the $10 floor.
Because if Bella, I've heard her say, and I'm not trying to attack you, Bella. Oh, can you do this because I got to focus on my painting, and it's me, and that she's bringing
When did I
money
say
in.
that?
She's bringing money in. So
When did I say that? I don't remember saying that ever, Amanda.
Anyways, so you're
I would
bringing
never
money
say
in.
that.
Now, let's say I want to spend all my money because I don't want to sit down there Monday, then Thursday, and then me get rejected to start my business. So while everyone else is growing, I can't grow.
Okay, so you want to keep getting $10 no matter what.
No, I don't, because that's not fair either. However, if I'm investing all of my money in something that's going back into the group 100% versus someone else who's already established, and then I'm going to need food, how come I can't eat? Who's going to pick up the slack? And it's not because I made a poor decision with my money. It's because I believed in something that you guys didn't believe in, and now I'm stuck and I'm hungry.
So how do we remedy that?
So keeping the floor. However, if you know you have, like for instance, I know I have money in my account, and there's people who do not. I don't want the $10 right now, and I don't want it later. I'd rather those people who do not have that $10 take that $10 and hey, this is the time we're helping you, and it goes like it goes on a chart. Like we keep track of the people we're helping, because if you're not helping, you can't watch someone be hungry and say, oh well, but if it's going to happen to someone, and it may be me next week. So I want the same compassion next week if it happens to me.
So is it like a credit basis, basically?
It's not credit.
It incentivizes you drawing down your account every week, though.
It does in a sense, but it doesn't as well, because let's say if you can tell me, or if the group can tell me how I can start a business.
Right. Unless you want to save your money for your business. But like it disincentivizes saving money for business too, in a way.
How?
Because you're tempted to draw down your account.
So how can I ever start my business?
By getting $10 a week as a minimum, and then everything else put towards your business.
Right. So me doing that, and let's say I put it towards my business,
You had a good
then I
business
don't.
plan. We back it.
That's not true, because Josh had
Have you
a
even
great.
tried it?
No, I'm not talking about me. I'm saying, and given the history of what we've been doing.
We've backed every business that people have come up with.
Bella, thank you. But I don't need that right now. I'm not talking about painting. I'm just talking in general. But it was very hard. Was it easy or hard for you to get the boxes?
Hard.
It was very difficult. For you to get the painting or the painting supplies, was it easy or hard?
Very hard.
And it took over weeks. But she's great.
in painting, and it was. Now, if we say, Bella, we're not going to give you any more supplies, that's just ignorant, because obviously it's making a difference. Obviously she's bringing in money. Now, if it's a business that it's going to take a week for me to get established, and then it takes another month for the supplies to come in, I'm still going behind. I'm never catching up until that day comes, but still, I'm going to be hungry for those 5 weeks, because all my money is gone based off something I'm trying to do for the group.
But I mean, you're completely operating under this assumption that the group's never going to want to invest in your business.
No,
ever.
not want to. However, is there money for the group to invest in the business right now?
No.
Exactly. So if I take my money right now, because I'm going to end up having to wait again for the opportune time for me to prepare a speech and get you guys to want to invest in something I'm trying to do. And who says you may invest or you may not, and that's your personal choice. But we do not have the money now to invest. Why would I bring that up knowing for the community when I have money in my pocket and I can do it on my own? But still, I'm going to be hungry during that time. Who's going to feed me?
That's why there's a $10 floor.
That's why there's a $10 floor.
Right, and so as long as we stick with that $10 floor, because now it's like we'll do the $10 floor this time, and then next time, it needs to be something consistent, like.
Yeah,
that's why
the only thing is I was recommending is that when we have a windfall like next weekend, we take the money that we stole from savings this weekend to pay for the $10 floor and replenish it. That's all. So if we have to take out $65 this week in order to have a $10 floor for everybody, then next week we put $65 back into savings, in addition to the whatever we usually
but
put
not
in the
giving
savings.
everyone the $10.
By giving everybody the $10.
The implication, if it's a windfall next week, the implication is that
It'll be above. It'll be $30, you know.
Yeah.
And then we'll just draw it down a little, and it just balances out. It's like an electric bill. You can be like, I would just want to pay $30 a month, and the electric company will just send you a generalized bill instead of worrying about the months where you have to have $100 versus $20. They just average it out.
Yeah. So I know, but we didn't vote that $10 part. So we are going to stick with the $10 cushion or the $10 floor,
Which will be drawn out of savings, but then replaced when possible.
So if somebody made $30, they get an additional $10.
No.
No.
Okay, but then on the
then
flip
that's
side
not
of
everyone that I just asked.
Well,
that's
my
my
question to
question.
that, like he said, if somebody makes $30, they don't get an additional $10. But when the money is replenished the following week, does that money end up coming out of their money when you replenish it across the board? Let's say
that's
only
a
9
question
people.
to ask, yeah.
Let's say only 9 people need to fill in that gap to make $10 even across the board. Is the following week, do we divide that by 9, or do we
that's
take
the
it back from
problem.
those people, or do we take it back from all 15 members of the group?
Yeah, that's a problem, and that's why we want hugs and cookies.
I mean, it's just a question. I
Yeah,
mean,
because like this week, some people got $36 or whatever. They don't need that $10 floor, so we're taking it out of savings for the people that do need it. Like, I don't know.
I mean, if you're talking about taking the money out of a Utopian experience, just do it. Don't worry about your $10 this week if you got $30-something. And I personally will have this money too, and I'm saying this.
Right.
Like, I'm fine with it, all the money going. And I think the money that we make off people coming to see all of us, don't be so damn greedy in that. Let it go. Let everybody get some money. Let everybody eat. We're getting nitty picky here, and it's like, it's really making me mad because I feel like there's a greedy vibe in the room. And we have the money. Everyone can have their $10, and we'll make more money. And each week will change. And we got a lot going for us. We're awesome. We're going to continue to be awesome. Let's not focus on this fucking $2 80-20 bullshit. Let's keep progressing. And let's make it easy for you guys. If we have the money, give the $10 out. Next week we'll make more. We got a wedding coming up. We got awesome things in our future. I know you guys got numbers and percentages. You got to make it work, but just don't kill yourself over it. We have the money.
Take it from the savings. That's the way.
But we
make it
still
happen.
got to set something up for the future at some point. There's got to be a standard for the future.
Well, each week everything changes. I mean, it's going to change again.
I mean, to move forward, so we can get people out of this room and out of this ridiculous hot house. So if we can agree, or at least come to a vote, that for this week we'll take money out of the savings to bring people up to $10 who need it, who have not already crossed the $10 mark on their paycheck. that savings will be replenished with the savings disbursement that we get from the money that we make next weekend.
You guys can take all my paintings
let me finish.
and put
Can
the
I
money
please
back
finish speaking?
towards everyone. I don't.
As far as determining this, whether it's going to be 820 personally, whatever, could we agree on the meeting on Thursday if people want to bring their proposals, and at that time we can have a further discussion because I think we're all getting burnt.
Yes.
But-
does that
Yeah, and then a third part is what about today, like the disbursements? Are we doing the original 80-20 off the net income? So there's 3 people that get like 36, 29, and whatever.
I'm just gonna go back with the group. I don't have to wait.
If it's already been done, the math.
Well, no,
Yeah.
like that, the
It's already been
450
done.
If
from
it's been done,
classes has
leave
already
it.
been done.
Leave
The
it.
math, the additional math, or we can't even do the sales anyway. So
Yeah.
that math has already been
All
done.
right, so we're all done. You guys get whatever you get, and the rest of you will get $10.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful.
So you want to vote
And
on
then
that?
Yes.
on Thursday, can
You'll
we
figure out
have
new disbursements for next Monday.
can we have ideas brought to the table,
Great.
detailed, thought out ideas brought to the table?
Votes for 10.
Yes.
That was, yeah.
Okay, don't run away.
Oh,
Sorry.
Damn.
Can we do this over